Yeah, we were in El Paso working with the Salvation Army, feeding the immigrants as they were released from the border camps. And so we've been working all week there, and somebody had donated some water, some vitamin waters. And so we had packed up Saturday morning and we're heading out. Actually, we stopped and got some of the Pepe's tamales because they were so good we were going to bring back to our staff. So we had eaten breakfast, stopped at Pepe's, and then we said, you know, before we head on the road, let's go into Walmart and get some of those vitamin waters because it was really hot. There were days that it was like 113 degrees there, even by 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So walked back down where the waters were and walked back there. And that's when we heard the shots. And we heard one shot first. And then, you know, we began to see people walking and then running, but not, I remember thinking, they're not like in a panic running, even though you could see the fear on their face. But the Walmart employees were just directing people. And I think the first thought in my mind was, it's just so calm, but I know that something really, really bad is happening. Of course, by then we were hearing the other shots. But the Walmart employees had opened up the back of the store, and they were just kind of ushering people out. You know, come on here, this way, and just you know, not shoving. Nobody was like trampling on anybody. It wasn't that kind of a rush, but yet people were rushed to get out. And I know David mentioned I saw a man running with a 2-month-old baby, and so I was screaming, David, it's a baby, it's a baby. And that was the first time that we probably realized, just because there was blood all over this blanket, but this man was carrying this infant trying to reach an ambulance. And then just, you know, realizing how many children were there.
And we spent 3 hours in Sam's waiting for an all clear. We'd been serving the Salvation Army all week. And we got over there, and a 4 or 5 mile square of El Paso had been shut down by the police. So we had no place to eat, but we saw a building where all the police officers were. So we went over to this health center, said, well, at least it's air conditioned, that we figure out what we're going to do. And when we got there, the Salvation Army was there in a water truck and Lunchables for all the policemen. And when they saw us, who we just spent a week with them, they said, get in here and help us. So they gave Beverly a hat that said Salvation Army, and we started giving water and Lunchables to all the officers that were there. Then they took and sent us over to the victims' families unit to take water and ice and serve them. When they found out that we had been witnesses at Walmart, then they took us to the police station. And then when we got through at the police station, and they said, well, you can't have your car. Now what do we do? Oh, well, and one of our children had got us a hotel. And then we just sat there saying, well, we'll be here for 4 or 5 days, I guess. And a friend made a phone call and got us an airplane to come back to Arkansas. And it was sure nice to come down that extension from the plane to the ground and say, we're on our home. And we went last night and hugged our children. We hugged our kids, grandkids. Come to realize, you know, life throws curveballs. You want to make sure you end your day telling people you love them and you care about them, because you just don't know. All we wanted was water, and walked into a big adventure that I don't want to remember again or redo again. But the kindness of the people of El Paso, the spirit of the citizens of El Paso,
which we'd seen all week long. Serving the immigrants, we'd seen just the hard work and the care and concern that they have for one another. It was something that we really were shocked to see. They were political, they were just doing what they could do. And so we saw that spirit not only through the week that we've been working with Walmart, but we saw that very same thing. I mean, worked with, Salvation Army, but we saw that same thing with Walmart and Sam's, and the police, and just the cooperation of that community, blood drives, and it's a very basically a very safe community and a very loving one.
I don't have an answer to all those problems, but the same way as what Restoration Village is, we don't know how to solve it, but we do what we can do to that one person in front of us. Just as when Beverly went over to this young man that was throwing up from helping people, just put your hand on him and say, "You're doing a good job. You're doing it." It seemed to put a calm even in him. So that's what we do in Northwest Arkansas, just one at a time, and hope that geometry works. One reaches one, reaches two. We extrapolate to goodwill.